Another day in the NBA here, and the work begins as it always does, even as players are getting ruled out right before the show, as they always do. We're going to dig in and compare my projections to one of the industry leaders out there, our friends over at Stokastic. We'll see the top plays are, the top value plays are. We'll also go game by game. We'll check the ownership along the way. We'll see where the leverage lies. We'll hop over to Stokastic, run a sim, see what your top ROI lineups are as of 2 p.m., of course, East Coast time on today right now. Of course, we'll do a hand build as well, and I'll show you guys my splash plays at the end of the video. So let's strap in. Let's get to work, guys. Hope it was a good slate for you guys yesterday. Pretty good for me. Felt pretty good about most of the plays, most of the takes that we had. For the most part, Jalen Wells doing well again. That's all I can ever ask for. But today's a different slate. Obviously, we got a lot of guys coming up where the projections are not great. Did get some guys ruled out before the show. Cat being out, Towns being out. It's one of those things that does seem like something where we will be trying to be mindful of the other Knicks players that remain. But at this point, for the slate, it's not the most fun slate in the world. I know my good friend Josh Engelman more cynical about the gambling of DFS day to day on his strategy show on Stokastic than I am. But would say on this slate, just going through it, at least before some of the guys got ruled out, did not look like the most fun. Today, hopefully, it'll be more fun. But let's get into it here. And also for you guys, NFL, I know I haven't done a video in a while there. Best ball stuff coming soon. I've been working around the clock quite literally the last couple days. Got like 3 hours sleep last night because I'm an idiot doing stuff as well with a child that I got to take care of at 6 a.m. because the wife's out of town for a week. But the best ball tool that I created, you can see a preview on the Discord. Really fucking sick, I think. So that's going to be coming out on stream soon as well. Part of your Splash Play membership, too, if you do join the channel. Let's get into this stuff today. And one thing I do want to highlight up top, because it's one thing that, just always, I'll say cheeses me off. Nobody says that phrase, but I'll say it today. People sometimes leave a comment like about, like Oshai Agbaji last night. There's a guy who halfway through the game left a comment on the channel like, oh, well, Agbaji not playing, blah, blah, blah. You guys got to remember, and I'm not even gonna be mean to that guy, even though I really would love to. For a lot of you guys like watching this video, you got to keep in mind, I try to say it enough times, and I really do say it like millions of times here, including in yesterday's video. At 2 p.m., Stokastic makes their minutes. I'm doing what I can off of those minutes, kind of, AI agenting stuff, seeing how, that thinks about things, doing the best I can to land on minutes projections. For the most part, though, when Stokastic's minutes are kind of grasping at straws, at this part of the day, you'll get weird shit like the Nets yesterday. We talked about Oshai Agbaji, Josh Minot, those being players that might come up a lot, Terrence Mann being another one. What happened was Agbaji didn't play. Terrence Mann, I think, was okay, but, didn't do anything special. Josh Minot went nuts. That's what happens in NBA DFS, especially, for a provider like Stokastic, who I do use to create my minutes every single day, is you get this first run of minutes, and I've been really frustrated with it, to be honest, at like 2 p.m. every day, because it's so different from what it ends up being at 6 p.m. But ultimately, it's guesswork at this time of the day. And then as you get more information as the day goes on, as starting lineups come out, that's the minutes, that's when the rotations are more solid. So, like I mentioned on stream, again, like 100 times, that's why I don't want to hear fucking dumb shit comments. It's like, okay, these minutes, like, I don't know, man. I'm not buying Agbaji playing this much. I'm not buying that he and Minot and Mann can play this much. That's what we're doing here every day is we're doing guesswork. Josh in the morning on his show does even more guesswork. If you did a video, there's some DFS creators out there that do videos like midnight the night before. They're doing even more guesswork. So ultimately, you do less and less guesswork as you get closer to lock. But that's what the NBA is, especially right now with injuries and all that. So just one of those days, especially on a free chat Friday here, trying to remind people of like what the process is. And then people watch the video at 2 p.m. and go like, here's what I'm going to play, do. It's like, that's not what the game is. I'm doing the best I can for you guys at 2 p.m. But ultimately, I do a better job at 4 p.m. I do a better job at 5 p.m. When I'm on live before lock, I'm doing a better job. Like that's the nature of what NBA DFS is. So please, for the love of God, keep that in mind. Don't stress, Spags. I'm not really stressed about it. It's more like I just don't get how I could say something as many times as I did yesterday and still get the morons commenting. And obviously, people are dumb. Like I get it, but it's one of those things where I really try hard to give you guys, teach you guys how to fish instead of just giving you the fish, teach you about the process. And like some people, it's just fucking knocking on wood. But anyway, let's get into the top projected plays here. It's gonna be a long skip the intro video today. Check the timestamps down below after the video, guys. You can always skip around. Top projected player right now is Jalen Brunson. With getting Cat ruled out, getting Josh Hart ruled out, or getting downgraded to doubtful, rather, which functionally for data means that the guy's out. It is one of the spots where Brunson's popped up a lot here. Let's pull up the NBA Wowie real fast, because I did pull the rates in before the show, but I would like to see them more fully to give you guys a read on things here. But right away, Jalen Brunson going to pop up a lot more. Mitchell Robinson going to pop up a lot more for having no Towns, no Hart. You're missing rebounds. You're missing big minutes, obviously, for Hart, or for Towns being out in particular, and for Hart contributing to that rebound category is what I was trying to say. But right now, in terms of these rates this year, You got Jalen Brunson with Cat and Hart off about 1,000 possessions. So we would say the rates are stable. 35% usage, 1.3 DK points per minute, along with 8 assists per 100, which is probably not that big of a gain for him. You've got Mikal Bridges at 0.94 DK points per minute, OG Anunoby at 1.01, and then Mitchell Robinson at 1.15. So these guys all going to look infinitely better. I don't know if it's an OG kind of day. He's certainly in play as well. But it's one of those things for the Knicks here where these top four all look a lot better. I know people love to try to play Jordan Clarkson. I've said a lot of times on stream, just don't think he's the same guy this year. And unlike a campaign, he's got a big enough sample size where like you're not expecting that to get a lot better. Huck Porty, theoretically a direct lever against Mitchell Robinson. If Mitchell Robinson gets in foul trouble, doesn't play super well, though I do expect him to play well because he's been a permanent monster all year. Huck Porty can be your pivot off of that. But really for the Knicks, to me, right away, Jalen Brunson is your top projected guy with these rates that he has, the 1.3 fantasy points a minute. He should be your top projected guy now. So facing Indiana too, we don't mind that either. 9,100 is Jalen Brunson. He's the highest projected guy, including for me, higher than Cade Cunningham. Stokastic probably feels a little bit differently here. They have Jalen Brunson at 45 compared to Cade Cunningham at 50.7. But for me, when we're getting a matchup with Indiana, an Indiana team as well that is phoning it in, that's also yesterday, didn't play Zubac, didn't play Nembhard in the second half. Nembhard in particular had a really good first half, was really tilting for one of my lineups that could have broken loose. For Jalen Brunson here, it's a really good situation for him to get this usage increase against this particular matchup. So Brunson, 9,100. He's my favorite play in the slate right now. The pay-up options. Field is at 17%. I'm getting 35. And, it's a big stand right now, though I expect the Fields ownership to come up a little bit. The Stokastic's number stays at 45, maybe not. Cade Cunningham, 47.3 projection for me. Stokastic has him at 50.7. The chat was talking about Jalen Duren's Q tag earlier in the video. We'll see what happens with him today. Certainly, if he were out, Isaiah Stewart coming up would matter a little bit more. I guess Paul Reed playing backup center would also theoretically matter a little bit more. But as it is for the Pistons right now, obviously Cade Cunningham, our highest upside guys. So we are generally a player that I'm open to always, even though my projections never really popped for Cade. Today he's only a 4.3x value for me, but he is facing Memphis. The issue, and this is the thing that we saw yesterday, Detroit kind of too good for these shitty teams lately. They are blowing teams out a little bit more. They have a good defense. Their offense is good enough. Even with Thesar Thompson out, the defense still holding steady. So for Cade, that's your concern against Memphis. You are getting a better version of Memphis today as opposed to the 8-man squad that we had yesterday. But for Cade here, 10% owned, I'm getting 13. Doesn't mean I like Cade, but I do think there's a ceiling there, and really, 10% ownership, even with my projection being 3.5 points lower than Stokastic's, he does seem a little bit under-owned. Donovan Mitchell at 9,500, facing Dallas here, not a bad matchup, though it does feel like the wing defense for Dallas always makes high-usage guards, like, a little bit of a tougher day, a little bit tougher journey than it seems like it should be. Even Javon Small yesterday, I feel like, ended up having a good game, but started a little bit slow there. Memphis, they're not Donovan Mitchell and James Harden, but it's something to point to that kind of goes to my point. For Mitchell and Harden, though, Fields at 12% on Mitchell, 15% on Harden. As I talked about with Harden, I just expect things to keep getting better for him usage-wise, given the fact that he has started a little bit slower. That said, for Mitchell and Harden right now, Harden being a little bit cheaper at 9,200, Mitchell at 9,500 on DK. I'm getting 20% Mitchell, 19% Harden. I think that's the way I'm cool with treating them today on this slate. To me, Brunson is your best play right now. For Mitchell and Harden here, I think they're not quite as good of a play as a Jalen Brunson, but they have a ceiling. They're facing Dallas, a team that can be competitive enough, but still usually not so competitive. They're going to win and blow a team out, anything like that. So for Harden, like the biggest issue is really that he's just not showing enough usage compared to Donovan Mitchell. But in this spot, you still don't have Jared Allen, so these guys have a little bit more opportunity, a little more rebounding to go around for a guy like Harden as well. So I think these guys, to me, functionally kind of the same play on the slate. Their price tags being what they are, the different positions at shooting guard for Mitchell, point guard for Harden. But the fact they're both around this $9K, $9,500 price tag, similar ranges of outcomes where if they get you 50, maybe doesn't kill you, can work for you. If they get you 60, you might have needed to have them. I think they're kind of the same guys. So getting 20% of both, this seems logical. Shout to the chat too. We're gonna keep going through the top projected plays, but real fast. Free chat Fridays. It was a 2v2 from having a great night. Thanks for all you do. I appreciate that, Pierre. And it is free chat Friday, yes indeed. So if you want to hop into the chat, get it out. Unless you're gonna troll. And one thing to keep in mind too, I should have put it in with the first part of the intro, but one thing to keep in mind too is I think people expect that they could just be shitty to you and be mean or whatever, and I just have to take it. Part of how I'm able to do streams as often as I do, showing up 5 days a week here, doing the work as, hopefully positively and enthusiastically as I can, is if I don't want to talk to you, I just mute you and that's it. So just keep that in mind. I just don't be a dick. I think it should be true of any walk of life. But as a reminder, people out there, if you get muted, it's usually because I don't like you. And we were talking in real life and you're being shitty to me. You know what I do? I'd go I don't like this person. I'd walk away. Same thing for my content. Just keep that in mind. But free chat Friday, shouts all you guys, because 90% of the chat's positive. The 10% is, it's you driving a knife into my neck, for what it's worth. Amin Thompson, 46% owned by the field. I'm getting 41. Facing the Pelicans, who seem like a team that many teams take advantage of, and then you play a bunch of players against the Pelicans, and then those players do terribly. For Amin Thompson, though, it's 7,800, a little bit cheap. Facing a team that gets a lot of usage on the wings, can turn it over as well. My projection on Amin Thompson at 42.1, Stokastic at 41.2. Amin Thompson playing basically the most minutes per game in the league, so feel like for Amin Thompson at this point. Ownership here maybe a little bit high at 46 with me at 41, but I think Amin Thompson a rock solid play here on a slate where we now have more value to go around for some of the players getting ruled out. It's probably going to get, more so from here. Again, keeping in mind that it's 2 p.m. and we have a few injury reports we haven't got yet, and a lot of Q tags still hanging around. Kevin Durant, right behind Amin Thompson, his teammate here, 22% owned. Fields there, I'm getting 28. I would say that for Kevin Durant, a little bit under projected for me at 41.8 compared to 42.6 for Stokastic. Facing a team like the Pelicans, though, he could be peak efficiency. He could go 14 for 15 today, light it up, hit some threes, get some free throws. I don't think we're seeing Bam Adebayo upside because you still have guys taking usage on that team. Very important lesson from that spot for Bam versus Washington, like we talked about earlier in the week. But for Kevin Durant here, facing the Pelicans, 8,800. I think there's a ceiling there. I don't need to be crazy about the field. 22% for the field, me at 28. That's enough. If you were 33% owned, I think that's where I'm going. That's probably about enough for me. But, not a bad projection for Durant. 4.8x value, though. Could be better. Nalper and Şengün, same thing here, getting the benefit of a nice total going against a Pelican team that's not very good. $8,700 salary, still center only, lost that power forward spot, and he's not getting it back, I guess. Şengün, I would say ownership-wise, being behind Amin Thompson by a good amount, Durant by a good amount, does seem like theoretical leverage there. That said, I'm only getting 12%, Fields at 14, so not a great play on paper, giving up your center spot for Şengün when we now probably need it a lot. For guys like Mitchell Robinson, it's not the most appealing thing in the world. For Şengün, though, I think a nice pivot here when we do have Amin Thompson being owned by almost half the field, Durant owned by about a quarter. We're going to sort by values here, guys. Before I do that, one quick ask. Please make sure to hit that like button and subscribe. You guys know the deal here. It goes a long way for me, and even though it might feel like it's futile on your end to hit the like button because you don't see anything from it, it really does matter a lot for me getting more views, fighting the good fight against the ebb and flows of NBA DFS. I know people frustrated with the lack of good 20 maxes lately. Obviously, the big tournaments going down to 50K up top every day. But still, we're still showing up and doing the work here because I still enjoy it. The money's still worthwhile enough for the journey here. So we're going to keep doing the work Monday to Friday at 2 p.m. here the rest of the NBA season. So please show some love. Hitting that like button and subscribing. And MLB coming up soon as well on the channel too, daily. Can't wait. Check out Stokastic as well, 15%. I actually can't wait, but boy, more work. always fun to commit to in advance. Stokastic 15% off, by the way. Promo code SPLASH on there. Big thing to do for yourself. Use my projections with Stokastic. That's a way to get unique while still using their industry-leading Sims tools. But a lot of good stuff over at Stokastic. Really, people finishing on top of tournaments every single night. Just look yourself. Look for Stokastic avatars in the top 10, top 20, top 100. It's a lot of people kind of sniffing around that area every single day, and the people who are really good at it, guys like our guy Low Stories, a lot of guys as well. Chris Cash, I mentioned earlier in the week. Dudes winning who've watched this show, watch me on Stokastic as well. They're crushing. So check out Stokastic, use their data, idiot-proof, great DFS lines for yourself. You take them out of the box, or you actually try to put your own, knowledge in. You'll do even better if you're good at DFS and can do that. Of course, join the channel here as well. Last plug here, I promise. $5 to join if you want to be part of the live chats, but it's not free chat Friday. Join down below for $5. You also get access to the Discord. But the big thing here is you can join my site, splashplaypodcast.com, through YouTube. You can log in through Discord. It all works as well as it possibly can. But it's a lot better for you and better for me if you go to splashplaypodcast.com because it's cheaper for you and I get more money back. So classic win-win. And just to be real with you guys, yesterday, one of our highest revenue days, in particular, a day where somebody didn't buy a yearly membership. So shout out to you guys who did join yesterday. We're hitting the revenue goals I set for myself here. I'm in good position to do more for MLB and soon for NFL best ball as well. But join over there. Really, I think I'm creating tools that add value to what you guys are doing. You can see it in the chat. You see people that just watch the video at 2 p.m. They're still having some of the best DFS runs of their lives with the content I'm creating, the data I'm creating. So join along for that ride here. Of course, updating throughout the night when there are necessary updates. Monday to Saturday. Check it out, splashplaypodcast.com. $20 a month for the Squirt Squad tier, $40 a month for VIP tier. And then you get everything I have across every sport. So I think it's a pretty sweet deal. All right, let's go in here. Cisse's doubtful now as well. Okay, good to know. Good to know. And shout out to the kind chats. I can't read everything today because I'm still trying to stay on track for all the people that watch after live. I do appreciate guys like we got Chow here saying Spags love the show. Keep up the great work. Caps on that. Thank you for that. Appreciate your show. I appreciate you guys being here a bunch. I know I focus too much on the people who are shitty because like that's easier to do that for me. But for you guys out there that are kind, whether you're a lurker or you're commenting, chatting, all that stuff, I do appreciate you guys a bunch here because you guys are the ones that I show up and do the work for. So thank you for that. All right. We got top value plays right now. Marvin Bagley, number one. We got him again coming up in a spot where Daniel Gafford, right before the show, officially doubtful. We also have PJ Washington doubtful. So the Bagley minutes, and as Isaac has pointed out, Cisse being doubtful as well. I didn't take him out of the data here because Stokastic didn't update minutes before the show, and I was scrambling because I've been working around the clock on that best ball tool. But Cisse being doubtful as well, your Bagley minutes are pretty secure. For Bagley, real fast here. Let's look at his last 10 games of minutes. 19, 21, 20, then didn't play for a while. We got 29 minutes, 20 minutes. Okay. So we're not expecting him necessarily to get mid-20s on paper. Obviously, they're giving him 25.9 here. It does feel like he has to play that much, especially against a Cleveland team where you have Mobley. No Jared Allen, but you have Thomas Bryant as a backup. Like, you kind of want some big minutes. I think you make the case that you would expect Bagley in most situations here to play like 27, 28 minutes. Just hard to say he's got that kind of level of minutes production in him. For Bagley, though, right now, Field's 70%. I'm getting 77. I think Bagley is a solid play here in my mind, with getting the downgrades for all the bigs to doubtful. I feel like, Bagley to me was almost like a lock button play in my brain. His sim ownership is so high, but those minutes not getting high lately, blaze up, but like those minutes not getting up to a certain level lately, like that does worry you a little bit. So, because if he plays 25-5, he gets in foul trouble and then still gets somewhat minutes limited, could be thorny. So I would say not a lock button play, but at 4,400, rock solid play. Jose Alvarado getting the uptick here as well from the lack of Josh Hart, lack of Karl-Anthony Towns opening minutes here, that the Knicks can go small for a little bit. Alvarado getting 25.5 minutes of the data right now. That gives him about a 6.9x value for me. Stokastic loves him even more so. Give him a 26.7 projection that would make him look borderline unfadable. Despite that only 4% ownership, I don't think they must not have updated their ownership. But Alvarado, if I had to guess, will be mega chalk with Stokastic data. I'm getting 29%. So Jose Alvarado, I think a solid play at this point. But I think Stokastic might overown him a little bit because there's really no guarantee he gets shots up. He might play more minutes, but he is a guy that could be out there not doing a whole lot. He also could be a guy that's out there, playing more minutes, hits 8 threes again like he has previously, a month or whatever that was ago. But for Alvarado, I think he might come up a little bit too high for Stokastic, and that would spook me a little bit. What are his minutes lately? 15, 8, 7, 11, 12. I mean, look, these are the things here that you could point to, and, to the people who got, Agbaji, who are really like, oh, he'll never play today. To their credit, like the guy getting faded down the rotation, not being there a lot, not playing big minutes a lot lately. It is sort of hard to expect a guy to play, in my opinion, to play 25 minutes when he's not playing more than 15 in most spots. But sometimes Stokastic gets that right. Sometimes they walk it back by the time he gets a lock. So maybe something to keep a close eye on with Alvarado. But right now, with him getting that many minutes, getting him in 29% of my winning lineups across 100,000 contest sims, ran right before the show. Mitchell Robinson. So Stokastic had not updated fully for him being in yet. As a result, he wasn't getting to the player pool enough. But to me, he looks like a better play than Bagley. Bagley's projection's a little bit higher for me at 31.6 compared to Mitchell Robinson at 27.4. But Mitchell Robinson is going to start. Mitchell Robinson has also been a great per minute producer and has not been, worse than his current team like Bagley is. Like Bagley was a lot better on the Wizards per minute than he has been on Dallas so far. And I still think, there's all the opportunity in the world for Bagley, and he has historically been a good per minute producer. The rate should eventually stabilize to his career averages, all that. But I think Mitchell Robinson, to me, like, I don't think he fails here. And I think there's a world where Bagley at his ownership, I think, can fail you. So if I'm choosing a center, I think Mitchell Robinson, I'm hoping he comes up more for the field. I mean, if he doesn't, I'll still get him a lot. I think Mitchell Robinson, I just feel in terms of how I approach DFS and how I view these players, like his minutes seem low to me. Bagley's might be high. His production going against Indiana, easier to get than going against Cleveland for Bagley. To me, all the check boxes would go in favor of Mitchell Robinson. So I'm Team Mitch today, but right now only getting 14% because he wasn't updated in Stokastic data to get into more of the Fields lineups. Javon Small, Fields at 4%, I'm getting 24. Javon Small's been my boy. Put on the thumbnail yesterday, obviously everybody was there as well. He was like, what, 60, 70% played. But for how Javon Small looks, would say that for this situation here, no Clayton again, helps him out a little bit facing Detroit. Not the best. Getting Ty Jerome back in, also not the best. I don't think you need to have a massive stand on Javon Small today. He's not like a field-defining play like he was yesterday. But for Javon Small, if I got him at 20%, the field's at 4, I'm happy with that because he's paid off for me. Back when he was a 3K guy, starting to get minutes, he's paid off for me lately at 5,500, 5K, whatever the price tags may be. Do like him more when Memphis is fully depleted. We have no guards. With Ty Jerome, if he's going to play, if Cedric Howard's going to play, I don't think that's great. But we'll see what happens with Memphis. You certainly could get more guys rolled out as the day goes on because right now, no, Coward's doubtful. My bad. Ty Jerome's doubtful. I missed that. Okay. There's a wave of updates that came through. Oh, this is yesterday's report. Sorry. Hold on. Let me pull up today's because I didn't think all those guys were doubtful today. Sorry. We care about accuracy on the show, and sometimes we got to double check stuff. All right. So we got only Walter Clayton doubtful. That's what I thought. Ty Jerome not on the injury report. Coward not on the injury report. So I was right. I was looking at the wrong day. For Jalen Wells being a Q tag, Gigi Jackson being a Q tag. I guess you could theoretically get more minutes for a guy like Javon Small out of that. But yeah, I don't know. I'm just not sure that Javon Small, like getting 34 minutes from Stokastic seems a little bit aggressive to me. Cam Spencer's going to be back today as well. He's on the injury report. So I don't think you need to go nuts with Javon Small is the main thing, but having a little bit, I think it's still a good thing. Ariel Huck-Porty, not really coming up for the field, but he is coming up 12% for me. 3K minimum salary guy, direct pivot on whatever ownership Mitchell Robinson picks up. That's your main benefits. So go to Ariel Huck-Porty. He's not nearly as good of a permanent producer as Mitchell Robinson is, but he is a guy that can be out there. And again, if Mitchell Robinson gets in foul trouble, if things get weird, if he gets hurt, something like that, that's where Huck-Porty can help you leap the field. So 3K, getting 12% right now, but the field's not playing him. If the field starts playing him a lot, then I don't think you want to go nuts on Huck-Porty. Landry Shamet, fields at 3%. I'm getting 12. He will get increased minutes for having no Josh Hart. What did he play last game without Hart? Got to 31 minutes as a starter here, but only 19 fantasy points. That was very tilting. Somebody that had a lot of them. For Landry Shamet, though, getting 31 minutes with no Josh Hart. Now you're taking off Cat. That's more usage. Theoretically, more threes to go around from Cat, leaving some of that long-distance shooting that he brings to the table. So I think for Landry Shamet, worth going back to again at 4,100. But Fields at 3%, I'm getting 12. We're not talking big stands here, even though the Fields ownership, again, will come up because Stokastic didn't update ownership before the show. And Moussa Cisse coming in here. He's not going to get played, so Klay Thompson right behind him, shooting guard, small forward, more usage go around for no PJ Washington today in particular. But Klay Thompson, shooting guard, small forward is probably the main thing, 3,600. Not the most fun play, but the Fields there at 32% right now. And I'm getting 30, so yeehaw, Klay Thompson. Would rather have any of the other values, I guess. But at a certain point, if Dallas is shorthanded enough, Klay, I guess, can still have a ceiling. Let's go game by game, guys. Before we do that, one more ask. Please make sure to hit that like button and subscribe. You guys know the deal here. I appreciate all your guys' really kind chats today. Really does go a long way for me here because, I appreciate hearing it. But besides that, though, I still got to do the work here, which is, related to me getting more views, getting more revenue and all that for SplashPlayPodcast.com. And that starts with you guys hitting the like button. Really, I mentioned it before. It might seem like you guys don't get anything out of that, but really does mean a lot for me as a creator on the other side of things. It gets me seen by more people in the YouTube algorithm. Also helps me keep growing things, sell to sponsors, all that stuff. It's stuff I'm trying to work into the back end now. So me growing stuff here depends a lot on you guys showing that love right back. So I'll keep showing up Monday to Friday, 2 p.m. doing my half of things. You do your half. And it's a lot less than half. Just hit the like button, subscribe down below, and let's keep growing things here on Splash Play as best we can. MLB coming up too in about 2 weeks. Stokastic, all their data, all their tools, 15% off the promo code SPLASH. And that's any term of membership as well, weekly, monthly, even yearly, all 15% off. So check it out over at Stokastic. Any sport, too. If you want to get NBA, you want to get PGA, you want to get NASCAR, it's all 15% off. So check it out, promo code SPLASH over at Stokastic right now. And, of course, the big push here, SplashPlayPodcast.com. Get a lot of you guys signing up over there, giving me really good feedback on things in a positive way of just getting good results from the data. But also I'm adding more things for NBA, for NFL. Really, this best ball tool has been me grinding really hard hard this week to make something that I would feel proud of that also will be a differentiator, I think, for you guys. That's what I'm doing at splashplaypodcast.com, making these little niche tools that hopefully pair well with other things in the industry or can hopefully stand on their own. So join along with my journey here, support the show, $20 a month Squirt Squad tier, $40 a month for the VIP tier, and it's even cheaper if you go yearly. You don't have to, but if you want to save the most money, it's like ends up being $30 a month if you go yearly. So check it out for yourself over at splashplaypodcast.com. Support the show, particularly if you want to see this content continue on forever. If every one of you guys who watched my videos signed up for that site, I'd be just be throwing money in the air on stream. I'd be wearing lavish robes, crowns. I wouldn't have to wear this money hat. I'd get a real one of Ember and Jade. Jade Cargill. I'd make it out of Jade Cargill. All right, let's go game by game here. 7:30 p.m. I like Jade Cargill. I don't want to turn her into a hat. 7:30 p.m. Eastern time start. Keep that in mind as well. Live before lock today, they'll be starting at 6:30, but also the slate itself tipping off at 7:30. So you have an extra half hour today, or you got to be prepared to be around a little bit longer. Memphis and Detroit here, 233.5 combined points. Not a bad total. With how it looks right now, and here's a fair question from D Mills: is Xing out Detroit a viable strategy with Jerome, Coward, and Spencer back? I never really X teams out because sometimes you'll get a player mixing in, and Javon Small still 6x valued my data. Cam Spencer still 0.5x. Ty Jerome they're given barely any minutes to at all. But I think for Ty Jerome, if he gets 25 minutes, he's actually still playable at 6,700. So I'm willing to get these guys mixed in. None of them priorities. None of them should be guys you want to give up, I would say too much ownership too early on. But if they mix in, getting Javon Small at, 15 to 20%, I'm cool with it. I just never believe in Xing teams out because even the worst teams, even the worst game environments, if that gets, out of hand and Vegas is wrong about it, you could be the only one who has it. So that's sort of the upside of DFS. Jade's too fine to be a hat. I mean, I guess it depends what your part of her body you're wearing. That entry point. She's just here sitting on my head. That would get a little messy though, and probably uncomfortable for her. Back to the thing, the game by game breakdown here. People are skipping the timestamps. They're like, why is he talking about putting a woman on his head as though she were a hat? Grizzlies 108.5 implied points. Javon Small, we talked about him enough already. 24% for me right now. Fields at 4. I think that number can come down if Stokastic knocks his minutes down, which frankly they should. 35 is a bit much for this not a shorthanded Grizzlies team. And my boy Tyler Burton played a lot yesterday. Sucked, but he's not really my boy because I don't think he's good, but he played a lot. You got to keep that in mind with these moving rotations lately. There's a guy in Utah who's playing, Anderson Garcia. There's another guy, Bez something, I feel like his name, that can play. Sometimes these sites like Stokastic won't have that guy, or because the guy's not in the DK player pool like Burton yesterday, they'll have Memphis looking extra good because Burton's reflected on their back end, but not in the data you're seeing. So it's something to keep in mind with these random G League guys coming in. And Memphis just reminded me of that because they are kings of that right now. Cam Spencer Fields 2.5%. I'm getting 11 minutes. Not the most secure, but he didn't play in the front end of the back-to-back, and he can be really productive per minute. Detroit on their side are mostly hunting upside here for these guys, but Kevin Huerter at 3,700, shooting guard, small forward, coming up a little bit. Some minutes to go around lately on the wing. Huerter himself, much more productive as a Bull than he has been as a Piston. Really terrible shooting on the year, though, for Huerter. 30% from 3, 55% true shooting. That's not why Detroit acquired him. For Kevin Huerter, though, 18% for the field. I'm getting 20. Feel like that moves around a little bit as the value kind of shores up. And Huerter's minutes, I think, could very easily come down a little. I guess depends who's available for Detroit. Jalen Duren right now, 16% for the field. I'm getting 17. Okay. Duren, I'm always a little bit interested in, but you're going against Memphis. Got to say, really easy to kill them, in the middle. That said, it was easy for Duren against Philly too, and he didn't really do that. So Duren, I don't mind at 7,900, but his minutes have been sort of hit or miss lately. Foul trouble is always a risk for him. If Stewart's playing well, playing good defense, he could take minutes away. But I think Duren being close to the field, I think feels about right. Marcus Sasser, 3,900 is better value at this point. He just has no role, even if he does start. Needs Cade Cunningham to be out, which is, I guess, is a possibility. They could roll him out late. Isaiah Stewart, Fields at 13. I'm getting 19, $4,400 power forward center. Decent value there. Would look a lot better if Duren didn't play. And Cade Cunningham at 10% for the field. I'm getting 13. Has one of the bigger ceilings on the slate. But I talked about earlier, Detroit's a little bit too good right now. They're smoking teams. They're a 16.5 point favorite right now against a Memphis team that's actually got some dudes. I don't know. I don't love the Cade spot, but I don't really usually like Cade. So he's got a ceiling. That's all I can ever say about him. But he didn't score 10 points yesterday. So I don't know, man. Cade's a weird player. And also Detroit's just too good right now. Knicks at Pacers, 227.5 combined points here. Actually, real fast from Isaac. If Duran sits, thoughts on Paul Reed, blowout run. I never like to anticipate blowout run because like Memphis could easily keep the game competitive enough and you just don't get extra. I think Paul Reed to be appealing because of the fact that you'd probably get a lot of ownership going to Isaiah Stewart and then Paul Reed sort of your most direct pivot on that. I like Paul Reed as a per minute guy, but I feel like there's no guarantee he's going to play a lot of minutes when Isaiah Stewart is starting because Stewart does kind of everything they like to do out of a big man. He'd definitely be in play, but he'd be in play the same way like Huck Porty is, like a 10%, 15% play. Not much more than that. Same question from D-Mail, so I got it. Knicks at Indiana, 227.5 combined points here. Again, Knicks looking better, but Stokastic hadn't updated ownership before the show, so looks a little bit off. But Jalen Brunson getting 2x the field. That number's going to come up for the field and for me because his rates are coming up exponentially for having no cat out there. OG Anunoby right now getting 10%, getting 20. His projection doesn't look that awesome here. Only a 4.8x value for me, so not really dying out for OG Anunoby here, even though I do like him a lot generally as a tournament option. But, the 10% ownership, that's enough for him. Mikal Bridges at 8%. I hate Bridges usually, but I'm getting 14 here. $6,200 price tag probably works pretty well, would be my guess. His projection is not anything that looks too compelling from Mikal Bridges. Jose Alvarado is a value. I think Stokastic's going to really juke his ownership when they update because their projection is at 26.7 for Alvarado. I'm only at 22.2. Alvarado, just no guarantee to gain usage here. Really no guarantee to play this many minutes as they're giving him either. But certainly more to go around. If they go small, they'll get more Alvarado out there most likely. Landry Shamet, as we saw earlier, played 31 minutes last game. Now I'll be able to do that with more usage opportunity with no cat out there. Fields at 3%, I'm getting 12. Don't think he's as much of a obvious value for the field as he was last time out, and he didn't pay off for the field then, so that probably keeps his ownership in check today. Mitchell Robinson is really the most important one to me. Like I said before, I think he's your best value in the slate at 4K. He will play starter level minutes. He'll play really productive when he does it, getting 1.1 fantasy points minute on the year, accounting for no cat today, no Hart in the matchup versus Indiana. I'd have him at 1.2 and change fantasy points minute. So Mitchell Robinson to me, I think he's that dude here, and I want to see Stokastic's updates because it'll make everything come up. And Ariel Huck-Porty here, your most direct pivots, Mitchell Robinson. So if Mitchell Robinson ends up mega chalk, getting some Huck-Porty makes sense. He's 3K minimum as well, so does have one thing to offer that not a lot of players on the slate do have. Pacers, 107 implied points, getting nothing here. No Siakam. Who else is out for them? No Siakam. McConnell's going to play. Nembhard questionable. Talon Peter out. Ethan Thompson doubtful. Zubac questionable. Yeah, so for Indiana, they might end up having a lot of guys available. Some of those Q tags play. They are not priced for the situation to have a bunch of these guys in. If Siakam played, it would have looked even worse. And again, also yesterday, they sat Nembhard and Zubac at halftime, probably because they wanted them to play again today, would be my guess. But certainly it's just them pulling more dick shit in their tank quest. So for Indiana here, I really don't trust anything. Yeah, I wouldn't pay up for Walker either with the amount of guys they have available. Cam Jones maybe plays more minutes here. He started the second half when Nembhard got sat yesterday, but really nothing to play here, I don't think. Phoenix at Toronto, 217.5 combined points here. Really brutal total. Phoenix, Jalen Green, my boy, paid off again yesterday. Talked about how he's just desperately due to shoot better. He gained about 2 percentage points of true shooting from yesterday's game alone. He and Booker both went nuts. Booker, I did not get right. Booker just went nuts in that situation against Indiana. Jalen Green, though, playing well. Both guys here, similar opportunities again, though Grayson Allen being back in maybe cuts the usage a little bit. Still no Dillon Brooks, though. Does mean a usage uptick for Green in particular, for Gillespie, and Booker can take that usage if he wants. He just doesn't do it every game. But Booker here, Fields at 6%, I'm getting 8. I'm up on Booker, which doesn't happen very often. Jalen Green, though, Fields at 14%. I'm at 25. He's been popping up a lot for me lately. Shooting guard, small forward, decent price tags. It does feel like, we're getting a lot of big days from him lately. Toronto, not the best matchup in the world, but I'd be happy chasing Jalen Green, I think, at 25% again. Raptors on their side, RJ Barrett coming up so much again because he's a little bit underpriced according to the Fields projections. Stokastic has him at 35.6. That said, in my data, RJ Barrett at 34.2 makes it come up a little bit less. Fields at 45%. I'm getting 31 here. For RJ Barrett at this point, I think he's one of those guys that I get why he comes up. He's a little bit underpriced in a balanced build. That makes sense. But I think we have enough value now that we don't really need to flock to the RJ Barretts of the world for a balanced build. So the fact he sucked his chalk the other day, that's kind of a reason alone to go to him. But at 45%, I think that number's got to come down a little bit, but I don't need to be there that much. Jakob Poeltl, Fields at 18%. I'm getting 7. Anytime you see the guy be higher on by the field than what I'm getting in a sim, generally not be a fan of him. Emmanuel Quickly, Fields at 12. I'm getting 10. Ingram, Fields at 11. I'm getting a slightly higher 11. Sure. Scotty Barnes, Fields 7, I'm getting 10. Also sure, I guess. Toronto's got Q tags today, right? Barnes still a Q tag, and Murray Boyle's doubtful. He's already out in the data anyway. So if Barnes doesn't play, it'll look better for Barrett for sure, better for Quickly in particular, better for Ingram in particular. I would buy Barrett as mega chalk if Barnes were out. With Barnes in, not for me. Cleveland and Dallas, 236.5 combined points here. Highest owned player right now is Keon Ellis, small forward, power forward on DraftKings, which Josh, my good friend Josh Engelman, I always bring up on the show because I watch his video often pretty close to when I do this one. Just have a read on what he said and what you guys are thinking about things. Those of you who watched that video. And he's talking about Keon Ellis being like small forward, power forward now and how it's so stupid. What is he? He's not really playing guard. Like he's just kind of standing around out there next to like the actual lead guards over and over again. So actually, I don't hate him as small forward, power forward. But Keon Ellis right now, 20-point projection for me, rounding up, 21.4 from Stokastic. I am not there as much because they liked him a little bit more. Fields at 32%, I'm at 24. Again, Keon Ellis, one of those guys I'm not sure we're going to really need on the slate. But again, 28 minutes of the data is making him pop up. I don't buy that he's going to play 28 minutes. I could be wrong about that offhand. He played 31 last game. All right, fuck me then. Played 31 last game with Keon Ellis, 26 before that, 24 the game before that, which I'm checking my minutes tab on a separate screen right now for you guys. Yeah, Keon Ellis, he'll get minutes. It's kind of like Landry Shamet, except he can't shoot. Hey, it's 37% from 3. What a weird player. He doesn't shoot. I guess the better way to say it this year. Historically, he can't shoot. But yeah, kind of like Landry Shamet. Minutes seem to be there. He's about 4K-ish. But not very exciting. Merrill Q tag probably doesn't help that much because he's still in the data. Doubtful tags help because then the guy's out of the data. Mitch and Bagley double center. Gonna be very chalky, but yeah, that's a good build. That's the cash game build though for sure. Evan Mobley Fields at 25%. I'm getting 19, mostly because the field has 25%. He's a 4.5x value for me. Does not seem like the guy to go to, but does get an uptick in rebound block opportunities to no Jared Allen because he'll be playing true center. James Harden Fields at 15%. I'm getting 19. Think he has a ceiling. Same thing as Mitchell. We're also getting about 20% of. Neither guy is super exciting, but we have to have ceiling players on short slates, so that's why they're coming up. Dallas on their side. Marvin Bagley, our cover boy on the thumbnail today, coming up a lot for the field. Like I mentioned, just not sure that he's guaranteed mid-20s minutes. That said, in games where Gafford has been out, there's been more upside there. No Gafford, no Cisse. You can get him playing a little bit more. My boy Tyler Smith, is he inactive already? Tyler Smith's doubtful for the G League. Yeah, they really got no bigs left for Dallas. So you should expect Marvin Bagley to play as many minutes as he can possibly play. How many minutes those are, we don't know. But Stokastic gave him 25.9 minutes. In some respects, that could be a conservative estimate. That said, it's more than he's played, basically in the last 10 games. So for Bagley, it's tough. Been a great per minute producer all year. Has been worse on Dallas, though. My gut right now is you're going to want to play one of Bagley or Mitchell Robinson no matter what. But I think you'd also just make the case, just lock Bagley, take 100%, and just try to get the right guys to spike around him. Because the field's going to be there so heavy, it might not matter. Game total seems high to you. Dallas being so awful gives me a lot of cringe to the number, though I know a lot of that's driven not by Dallas. I mean, Dallas at 111.5, still one of the better totals on the slate. But, I mean, Dallas hangs in there. Dallas was putting up a lot of points on Memphis yesterday. Obviously, that was, 8-man Memphis. But, and I feel like Dallas is one of the teams I don't think it's as bad as the public thinks they are, / maybe the record would indicate they are. But yeah, I would say mostly for me, Bagley's the one that matters the most. I also shouldn't just scroll past Klay Thompson. Klay Thompson coming up a lot here. Moussa Cisse is out now, so that's going to make Bagley's projection look even better. But for Klay Thompson, 32% for the field. I'm getting 30. Really would rather play Bagley and just roll the dice on that than go nuts on Klay Thompson here. But he's in a third of the field's lineups. Whatever. Can Mobley smash with Mavs weak front court D? I mean, he can. I just still think the Mavs, front court D, they're still only giving up 114.3 points per 100, which is flat league average, but it's still not bad compared to your Wizards, your Jazz, where are the Grizzlies at right now? Grizzlies giving up 116.5. They're a little bit worse. So I think for how I view Dallas, there's not as bad as a lot of those teams. Can Mobley go nuts? Sure, but I don't know. I just don't think Dallas is that bad. And I think that's one of the issues that people run into is they think Dallas is Washington and they're not even they're not Pelicans bad. They're not even Grizzlies bad. So I don't know. But Mobley has a ceiling for sure. It's a lot of ownership. Pelicans at Houston, 230.5 combined points here. DeJounte Murray coming up a lot for me lately. His per minute numbers have been outstanding so far, 1.3 fantasy points a minute. That's with pretty bad three-point shooting still, only 28% from three. But he's been really good from the free throw line, so the three-point shooting should get better, you would think. Or I guess the free throw shooting could get worse. DeJounte Murray, though, 18% for the field. I'm getting 17, not a big stand there. Do you think he has a really big ceiling? And he's really impeding some of the upside for Zion in particular. Also helped the upside for Trey Murphy because he's creating a lot of assists. 33% assist rate so far for DeJounte Murray, as you can see over here. Trey Murphy, Fields 16%, I'm getting 13. I always get a little bit of Trey Murphy. Was happy to get him putting up, 50 fantasy points last slate. But not a lot to love here going against Houston. Feels like he should see some of the toughest defense that he will see on a regular basis. Houston on their side getting a good total going against New Orleans. Why some of these guys are coming up so much amongst the top projected plays. Amin Thompson, 46% for the field. I'm getting 41. Jabari Smith, I'm up on. Fields at 33. I'm getting 41. A little bit underpriced at 6K compared to all these other, highly owned Rockets. Kevin Durant, Fields at 22. I'm getting 28. Never the biggest Durant guy, but absolutely has a ceiling going against the Pelicans. Tari Eason, 22% for the field. I'm getting 20. Bunch of 5X and more value guys here. Reed Shepherd, 19% for the field. I'm getting 20. He's been playing well. Feels like another guy as well that can earn more minutes with good play. Gets a really shitty Pelicans defense. And Şengün, the lowest owned guy here at 14%. I'm getting 12. I hate that he's center only now. Like I've mentioned enough times, really was nice to have him at power forward center. I'd get him a ton on those situations. But he's facing, a Pelicans team that is really bad in the interior. So, Şengün having one of the games like he had versus the Kings here, I don't think is out of the realm of possibility. But, the other guys look better projection-wise, so you get why they're getting more ownership. And that's the last game of the main slate, guys. I do have night slate information as well. But let's look at my sim data here real fast. Forgot to look at it on stream yesterday, and I don't know. A lot of you guys signed up yesterday. Should I not show you the sim data in the hopes that you sign up? Got to think about that. Real fast, we'll look at my sims, and we'll hop over to Stokastic and run their sims. Top sim guys right now on DraftKings for the main slate. Marvin Bagley at 77%. Amin Thompson at 41. Jabari Smith at 41 as well. FanDuel-wise, we got Marvin Bagley, 71%, Jabari Smith at 51, Amin Thompson at 46, so not too dissimilar between the sites today. Guys, you 5X the most, and of course, we do have the 30+, 40+, 50+, 60+ numbers here if you want to check it out for yourself. That's splashplaypodcast.com. But 5X the most, Mitchell Robinson does it almost 100% of the time, Bagley 98, Alvarado 95. So these guys hitting that value metric a lot probably means that you'd expect totals to be pretty high scoring today, if those guys do pay off as chalk. Guys, 6X the most, Mitchell Robinson, Bagley, and Alvarado as well, but they're doing it 87, 85, and 79% of the time, so a little bit of a drop-off there. And a real fast, guys, 60+ the most. Cade Cunningham at 18% of the time, Jalen Brunson at 17, and Amin Thompson at 10, ahead of Harden and Mitchell. A lot of standard deviation on Amin Thompson would be my guess. FanDuel-wise, guys, who 5X the most, Mitchell Robinson, Bagley, and Isaiah Stewart. Should only get better if Jalen Duren is out. He'll be mega chalk on FanDuel for sure. And guys, 6X the most on FanDuel, Mitchell Robinson, Marvin Bagley, Jose Alvarado. All right, let's go to Stokastic next, guys. We'll run their sim. No interference from me. You'll see their data as pristine as it can be. It looks like it was just updated as well. Ownership updated right as we started the stream too. So this will be good. But let's pull this up right now. Build 5,000 lineups, have them compete 10,000 times. Before I do that, though, one more ask. Please make sure to hit that like button and subscribe, guys. And you guys know the deal here. I'm just one guy showing up doing the work. And yes, with all the genius that spills out every video, with all the the hate I have that spills out as well, you would think there's multiple people here. But no, it's just me showing up doing the work for NBA, creating fucking literally up to 2 o'clock last night. We're going on an NFL best ball tool. I do this because I love it, and I do because I know it adds value to what you guys are doing, because I keep hearing from you guys. So let's keep doing things as best we can here. Let's keep building things as well. So hit that like button and subscribe. Show some love if you can. And I'll show some love right back by showing up every Monday to Friday at 2 p.m. Of course, check out Stokastic as well. You're about to see their sim, but you can get it for yourself. And really would say there's a difference from seeing the lineups on screen and actually having the lineups yourself and going through all the lineups, seeing what top ROI lineups look like over and over again as the data updates throughout the day. Check out Stokastic for yourself. Idiot-proof, great DFS lineups at Stokastic for 15% off with the promo code SPLASH, my promo code on there. Get you 15% off any weekly, monthly, or yearly package. And last but not least, join the splashplaypodcast.com site. That is my site where all the data updates all night long. Running 100,000 contest sims, more than anybody else in the industry, and I figured out how to do it really fast and really well. And really the results hopefully speak for themselves this year for a lot of people checking out the site. I've had a good DFS year as well, even though I have not gotten the first place I would like, unfortunately. Still won a 4-point play a month and a half ago when starting this process. We still got good things here going at splashplaypodcast.com every day, so check it out for yourself. You want a little bit of an edge in DFS, whether you're a hand builder or 150 maxer, I think my data, my tools will do that for you. Pair it with a Stokastic, pair it with the Saber Sim, that's what you get the best results. All right. Let's go. And yes, let's go hit the like, indeed. I got to check the super chat as well. Just sending love. Thank you, Robert Griffin III. I appreciate that. Hope all's well with you, my friend. Hopefully you'll like the best ball tool as well, because that's one. I am building it right now. It works for underdogs. So I have to go through and kind of debug everything for DraftKings and drafters, but it's going to work for everything. So that best ball tool, check it out on the Discord. It'll be I think a real value add for a lot of people out here. All right, our top ROI lineups right now. Stokastic data here, just theirs, no imprint from me. We got Cade Cunningham, number 1, 364% ROI. Reed Shepard, RJ Barrett, Evan Mobley, Mitchell Robinson, Jose Alvarado, Ron Holland, and Ty Jerome. So 50K, all that money spent. Ty Jerome, they must have goosed his minutes a little bit. I don't mind the lineup. I mean, Mitchell Robinson is my guy. They love Alvarado, so I get that. Ron Holland seems weird, though. Number 2, Jalen Brunson, Brandon Ingram, Jalen Green, Ron Holland again. Why Ron Holland? Did somebody get ruled out while he'd been on the show? Ron Holland, Mitchell Robinson, Jose Alvarado, Jabari Smith, James Harden. Number 3, Jalen Brunson, Trey Murphy, RJ Barrett, Evan Mobley, Mitchell Robinson, Jose Alvarado, Ron Holland again, and DeJounte Murray. What the? Okay, like really? And nobody in chat said like, oh, like Cade Cunningham died. So it's a big Ron Holland day. Why is Ron Holland coming up this much? I know he's like, he'll play minutes. Number 4, Jose Alvarado, Trey Murphy again, RJ Barrett again, Ron Holland again, Mitchell Robinson again. I'm cool with that. James Harden, Mikal Bridges, Jalen Brunson. And at number 5, Jalen Brunson again, Reed Shepard, Jalen Green, Ron Holland in all these lineups. Mitchell Robinson, Jose Alvarado, Evan Mobley, and Şengün. All right, what are they giving Ron Holland here? Because something's got to be different from what I had. They're giving him 26 minutes, 25-point projection. All right, where has minutes been lately? Played 25 last game, 30 before that, 19. He played more minutes the last 2 games because LeVert was out. He's not going to play that many minutes. That's got to change. I think the Holland shit goes away. Because LeVert's in, and he's not even a Q tag today, is he? Yeah, he's probable. So I think they're overrating his minutes because LeVert was out. I think they'll fix that. At least that'd be my guess. Anyway, top ROI lineups. We got Ron Holland, highest ROI here. Not a surprise, all the top lineups he made. Again, just don't think that holds. And this is what I try to do, guys. Like, I take Stokastic's minutes, as many of you guys do. A lot of you guys take their projections as well. I take their minutes because, like, that's the best way to build a rotation that feels credible at 2 p.m. every day. But, like, they also do catch stuff and then fix it and update things as we get closer to lock. So, really important to keep that in mind. Please don't leave me shitty comments about Ron Holland because, like, I actually don't think he's a great play, and I'm saying this to you. So please keep that in mind. Mitchell Robinson, your number 2 ROI guy. He's a great play. If he sucks, come back to me and tell me that he sucks. If it's not foul trouble or something stupid or injury. Mitchell Robinson, though, second highest ROI guy. And again, feels a lot better than Ron Holland here. Number 3, Chris Middleton, slightly positive ROI. He went nuts yesterday. That said, for Chris Middleton, you're not playing Memphis today. So I don't see the upside being quite the same, but at 4,800, he should be able to play good minutes. Definitely get some uptick as well, and upside for the fact that PJ Washington's not in. What happened to LeVert? He was great. Then has been off the bench. He's adapted to his role. I mean, if you want to stay in the league at a certain point, you don't hit as like the high usage guy like LeVert had his first shots at as, Nets player. Teams were trying to trade for him at that point or considering for it at that point. And in Cleveland, kind of lost the role. He settled into more of like a 3-and-D guy. Can still handle, can still do some of the stuff, but he's just not like, if you're going to stick in the league, you can't be the guy that chucks all the time, basically. So he's one of the best living examples of it, I think. Shout out to Emac being here. My old pal Emac I'll be reunited with tomorrow on Live Before Lock, I believe. So tune into that. Kevin Herter at number 4 here, right behind. Slightly negative ROI, but we care more about the directional pointing of the ROI numbers. So he's at number 4. And at number 5, you have Ty Jerome, right ahead of Aaron Nesmith. Look, Ty Jerome, if he plays 25 minutes, people don't like to play him because he's minutes limited, but he has been a monster per minute, hanging tight at 1.5, 1.6 fantasy points per minute. So tough matchup versus Detroit for Ty Jerome, but I love his talent, man. He's so good. And he really, he's one of those guys where I feel like a guy like my friend Josh Engelman would have looked at the numbers and been like, hey, he's not that good. And it's like, he's holding steady with his production per minute. He's playing on a team that's not playing for anything, but whatever he saw from last year from Ty Jerome, he's taken it to another level. So I don't mind him. Your highest exposure players across Stokastic's top 150 here. Jose Alvarado, 87% owned. They're giving you 86, so basically holding hands to the field on a very high Alvarado number. Still not sure that Alvarado plays as many minutes as they think, but certainly the opportunities there versus Indiana. And takeaways, too, for Alvarado can be a big thing. You get the full Grand Theft Alvarado experience. Mitchell Robinson at 9% for the field. I don't think he's going to be that low unless the field just goes Bagley and doesn't take another cheap center. Mitchell Robinson, to me, should be like a 30%, 40% owned play. They're giving you 63 here. Again, I wouldn't love giving up both my center spots just for what tournaments mean and, how you have to capture that the guy who hits a meaningful ceiling. What if it's, Alperen Şengün against a Pelicans team getting all the leverage against all the higher owned Rockets? But I think for Mitchell Robinson here, if I were just to lock him with Marvin Bagley, I think I'd be okay with that and just take what I get around that. So I'm surprised to see him still be 9% owned in the data here. I think that's got to come up a little bit later on. I don't even think that was an intentional Josh question, but yeah, I guess I've been around him enough. It should maybe be internalized at this point. Ron Holland, 59% exposure, fields at 7. Again, if I had to guess this won't hold, somebody, they have a great data team. They're going to catch up at some point and go, oh yeah, Ron Holland probably going to play less today with Karis LeVert back in. Right now, they're giving him a lot of minutes though. And if he did play those amount of minutes, I guess he would still be one of your better values on the slate here. Amin Thompson fields at 35. You're getting 55 across Stokastic's top 150. A little bit underpriced. Can get some stocks here against the Pelicans, and he plays pretty much the most minutes in the league besides Tyrese Maxey, who's hurt right now. And Kevin Durant, 51% exposure, fields at 38. Like I mentioned earlier, he can hit every shot. Still feels a little bit crazy at 8,800 to get this much of him at only about a 42.7 projection. But Durant, yeah, I mean, he's a good play. Like, all the Rockets are good plays today. Just don't know that they're like, we got to get him everywhere kind of plays. Your highest leverage plays right now across Stokastic's top 150. Mitchell Robinson, 53% leverage on him. Massive stand, though I do think that field ownership has to come up some more. Ron Holland, 52% leverage on him. I think that number will come down as the day goes on. Still probably a decent value at 3,800, but to me, he's not a slate-defining play like that. Amin Thompson, and if he hits, then default to the sim gods here at Stokastic. Amin Thompson, 19% leverage on him. You're getting him in more than half your lineups, fields at 35. Durant, also at about half your lineups, fields at 38. And then, DeJounte Murray, 10% leverage on him, fields at 16, and you're getting 27. Permanent monster all year. Downside he's faced in Houston, but DeJounte Murray, I like DeJounte Murray's upside, and I'm willing to play guys against Houston, I think, more than most. Like, Houston people fade guys against. Never really think that's the move. Even when Brandon Miller goes 7 for 33, I'm still like, okay, cool. Still take that shot. I have a lean on Şengün. I mean, a lean in terms of just, do I think he's a good play, or if he's going to play today? Does he play today? I feel like Şengün's a gamer. I usually wouldn't assume that he would sit out. I do think, that keeps his ownership in check too. He was really compelling to me as like, the matchup seems very similar to me as like when he had a ceiling most recently when he put up the 70 fantasy points against the Kings. And I think the fact too that you have so much ownership going to the other Rockets, like Şengün just dominating this game would be a way that you see Durant fail. To a lesser extent, you see Amin Thompson fail. So I think it's really compelling if he plays to be 10 to 15% of him. But I wouldn't go much more than that because projection's not really there. Your most negative leverage plays right now. We got Marvin Bagley here. Negative 20% leverage on him. You're getting 39% exposure, though. Fields at 58. So Bagley, they're low on Bagley. Huh. I mean, it really does feel like he has to play 25 to 28 minutes today, no matter what. But negative 20% leverage on him. It's a pretty noteworthy fade by Stokastic. Evan Mobley, negative 12% leverage on him. He's only getting played 17%. Fields 29. The projection's low on Mobley. I don't really see it either, but, the field's playing him, so you got to get some. Ariel Hukporti, negative 10% leverage. Barely a play here. I think they believe that Mitchell Robinson's not going to get played by the Fields. That's why you're not really getting Hukporti. My guess is that Mitchell Robinson will be a much higher owned play when things, kind of matriculate through the ownership as the day goes on. So Hukporti probably comes up in ownership and exposure just from the fact that Mitchell Robinson will come up in ownership and exposure because that's sort of how direct backup sharing 48 minutes or, likely sharing 48 minutes works. And then Jabari Smith, negative 10% leverage on him. You're only getting 19%. The Fields at 29. Scotty Barnes, negative 10% leverage on him. You're getting 5%. Fields at 14. Yeah, sure. All right. Let's do a hand build, guys. Last stage of our journey here. I really feel like I should have pulled in updated data before doing this, but we'll try the best we can here. All right. Last handy of the week, boys, so soak it up. Get all the toxins out of your body when we finish this handy. All right, point guard. Point guard for me right now would be Amin Thompson, 41% sim win rate for him in my data. Jalen Brunson right behind at 35. I think we're going to get both in here, but I'm going to go Amin Thompson first. Shooting guard, his older twin, Klay Thompson. No, Klay does look like the top graded shooting guard for me, 30% sim exposure. What if we include ownership in? Does look appropriately owned. Jalen Green, I don't mind. 14% owned, and I have him at a 25% sim win rate. But I do like to put the value guys in because it will make us better sim. So let's go Clay here. Not super stoked about Clay. Actually, let me put him at small forward. Let's put Clay at small forward. And shooting guard could still be Jalen Green. Not a point chase because I've been talking about Jalen Green this entire time he started to play better. And he is playing better, and the price tag's not up enough. Power forward. Jabari Smith would be my top guy. Keon Ellis, number 2. OG Anunoby, number... God, power forward is awful. All right, Jabari Smith it is. Theoretical leverage on Kevin Durant. It's probably also why Durant's getting so owned, I guess. Do we know he's small forward? Never mind. All right, center. Center for me would be Marvin Bagley, easily. Stokastic having updated makes him look like a less good play. But I'm still team Bagley here. Thoughts on playing kid? I never have an issue with stuff like that. If you could afford him, great. There's enough value to go around. It's fine. Don't think it's going to be terribly... I mean, Cade seems like he'll be low on the slate, but yeah, I don't know. All right, we got Bagley, Mitchell Robinson. Guess I'm gonna set caps lock, or I'm that excited to play Mitchell Robinson. 8,800 left for guard and forward here. All right, got to spend some money. I didn't put in Brunson yet, so he's got to be one of the picks here. That'll spend some of that. Forward 8,500 left. Scotty Barnes or Mobley. Is this why these guys are coming up so much? No, because they don't think Mitchell Robinson's going to be owned. But all right, I guess Scotty Barnes. I mean, massive ceiling for Scotty Barnes if he plays. Not a great matchup against Phoenix, but he can break a slate. The lineup here we're simming out: Amin Thompson, Jalen Green, Klay Thompson, Jabari Smith, Marvin Bagley, Jalen Brunson, Scotty Barnes, Mitchell Robinson. 83% ROI. That's clean. I don't have an issue with that. Let me take out real fast. Let's take out Bagley. Let's put Mitchell Robinson at center. I'm just going to see what it does here. 2 spots left. It puts in Kevin Durant and Ron Holland, of course. Oh my God. Why don't you marry Ron Holland, Sim? Jesus. It's always so funny that Sim just like locks. It's like, I can't imagine not playing Ron Holland. Then you get an update and it's like, fuck Ron Holland is what the Sim does. And then the Sim is also like, what it'll do is it'll react to like the ownership that it created by having an incorrect minutes projection. And it'll go like, oh, like, no, he's too highly owned. It's impossible. Ron Holland going for 84. If he goes for 84, I'll fucking stab myself on stream. I won't make those bets very often. I'm not our good friend Emo Cowboy putting burritos up my ass or threatening to. I think Josh threatening, or Greg threatening to cut his dick off. Somebody did. I'm not doing that, but I will literally commit Harikiri if Ron Holland goes for 84. All right, 139% ROI on this one. Stokastic completing the lineup for me. Jalen Brunson, Jalen Green, double Jalen's again. A lot of great Jalen's. Klay Thompson, Ron Holland, Mitchell Robinson, Amin Thompson, Kevin Durant, Jabari Smith. Excellent. Handy today, lavish robes. There we go. All right. I think this lineup is as good as it's going to get. Clearly, they love Ron Holland. I don't. We disagree on that today. I will be on the live for Lock Show later today, though, so we'll hash it out. If Ron Holland's still popping up, I'm going to give you guys this fucking same energy. I promise that. Because that makes for fun content. But guys, show some love if you can. I'm gonna give you guys my splash plays for the day one more time. But please hit that like button. Please subscribe. No matter what's going on in the world, no matter how many mean comments I get, I still show up here because I'm committed to this process, and also it makes me money. And thanks to you guys, really doing well here, growing the splashplaypodcast.com site, growing the channel. Let's keep doing that work. Hit that like button and subscribe. If you guys hit that like button and show up and give me some nice stuff to work with here, I'll do the best I can to show up and do that work for you. Monday to Friday at 2 p.m. and soon for MLB as well. Adding a second stream every day. Yeehaw. Stokastic, 15% off. Promo code SPLASH on there. All their data, all their tools. Shit that's winning people literally tens of millions of dollars over the course of the years it's been open. Also, this year in NBA, you keep seeing tournaments, NBA in particular, with Stokastic avatars, top 5, top 10, top 1, happening really frequently across the mini-max, across the big tournaments, across the 4-point play. So check it out for yourself at Stokastic. You want to take that big leap, combine my data with theirs, or just use theirs, and you'll do a lot better than you probably are doing. Just hand-building shit, guessing, doing whatever you're doing right now. Asking Grok. Some people ask Grok. Don't ask Grok. Grok's one of the fucking dumbest AIs in the world. It's like asking your... I'm not going to go. I was going to say the R word, but I'm not there right now, Ed. at 3 p.m. Last call here for splashplaypodcast.com as well. Of course, my site here, I'm updating throughout the night with all the data, running 100,000 contest sims with things updated as well. So you're seeing things with a lens that you're not getting anywhere else, because I figured out ways to do it as fast as anybody in the biz and as well as anybody in the biz right now. So check it out for yourself. Want to make a difference in your DFS play? $20 a month Squirt Squad tier, $40 a month VIP tier. One of them will help you, but $40 will really help you if I had to guess. Sim data. I keep saying it every stream, but like really, from what I hear from guys who've won money with the stuff, from what I get from my own results nightly, sim data. Most important part, be disciplined with the sim data. You'll do better in DFS. Pretty confident in that. All right, especially when we get to lock, not the 2 p.m. one. Fucking Oshai Apache's popped up because it's Stokastic. Don't blame me. All right, top splash plays for the day. Gonna be very obvious from the hand build, but number one for me right now, would be Jalen Brunson, because he just looks under-owned the data. But Amin Thompson right there with him. Those guys core plays for me, though I will be probably a little bit low on Amin Thompson. Fields playing him a lot, but I think they're going to be, to me, my highest sim win rate guys. Bagley and Mitchell Robinson at center, think they are worth getting a good amount of exposure to. Bagley, Stokastic, fallen out of love with. I still think he looks like a good play, even though I question the minutes a little bit. As long as he's starting, they get a wheels up play still. Even though Mitchell Robinson, in my opinion, more of a wheels up play. Jabari Smith, I would say a splash play. I'll be up on him. Klay Thompson, not a splash play, but he might be a necessary evil on the slate, depending on the value we get. And that's probably enough to get you guys started. RJ Barrett, also kind of same thing, necessary evil kind of play, where the field's playing him. I get him as a result of it, but I don't really feel super jazzed. But the positionality for those guys does kind of suck. It's really like a kind of a tough slate. So we'll see what we get. Again, I'll be on the live for lock show later today. Of course, splashplaypodcast.com updating as well when things change in the NBA. Appreciate that. Shout out to the chat as well. Very lovely, kind chat today. Appreciate you guys a bunch being here. Shout out to all you guys who do show up here. Free chat Fridays really means a lot. Even if you're not a member, if you guys being here and hanging out. Again, Stokastic tomorrow, today as well for Live Before Lock, so watch those. And gamble responsibly, guys, even though it's always money time here on the Splash Play channels. Follow me at Chris Spags. Follow this channel at Splash Play Bets on YouTube, at Splash Play Pod on Twitter. You'll see whenever I go live. And I'll see you guys again soon. Enjoy your days. Good luck. Catch me on Live Before Lock today and tomorrow. And if not, enjoy your weekends, guys. And bye-bye.